Okay, so I'm going to try and give you 2 exercises to go try and play with to hopefully improve your front brake ability. This is something that is extremely misunderstood by people coming out of classes, and unfortunately something that people kind of take as a almost dogmatic kind of thinking around the front brake, because their teacher was lazy and didn't teach them how to properly use the front brake and what your front brake is capable of and the ways that it operates and so on and so forth. So let me give a little disclaimer here. This is not emergency braking. This is not to practice emergency braking. This is not emergency braking. Every single time I have mentioned the word front braking, I've gotten 5 of these weird little zealots who, if I am not slamming on the brake as hard as possible, telling me that I'm using my front brake wrong and that I should go jump in a hole. It's very weird. And hopefully for those of you who are not rock solid in the head and able to understand information, this will be a useful 2 exercises to get down and make you a better rider as a whole. And this is the thing that really is unfortunate about the laziness of some of the teaching with front brake and only viewing it as an on-off or stop switch. Your front brake is so insanely capable. The range at which it has effective use is from 1% all the way to 100%. It's an insanely powerful brake, and hopefully breaking it down with this these 2 exercises will help you better understand how to use it, as well as get a very healthy setup for when you do decide to start taking riding a little more. You start kind of progressing with your skills and branching out and trying new things and so on and so forth. This will set you up with good habits. So 2 exercises, and there is going to be one thing that you are going to start doing every single time you get on your bike, and it's the thing to live by here, and that is, if you are decelerating, you are reaching for the front brake. If you have 0 throttle, and this is out on the streets, this isn't slow speed stuff, if you are at 0 throttle, you are touching your front brake. You are not covering your front brake while you're driving around. You are covering it when throttle is at 0, and you are reaching for it when you are decelerating. This needs to become second nature, and it's very easy. The main thing is going to really change with how you're operating things now. If you're someone who is going to be going from a full fist type of deal to using 2 or 3 fingers, this is what I recommend: 2 or 3. Leave your pinky out of it. You are going to have to kind of change the way you're using your throttle. So if you're someone who is, and this is something that's very common for people who are new, is they use their throttle with only their thumb and their index finger. So they could go around and use their throttle like this all day. Pinky, thumb, and or your ring finger are your throttle fingers. That's what you are going to be using for your throttle. This becomes much more important later down the line. Right now, this is just something to become familiar with. It will help you with steering as well. So if you're someone who is only using, if you're holding your handlebar, and especially if you're like me and you choke up close, if you're using these 2 hands like this and you don't put a whole lot of pressure, when you go to steer, you're at a mechanical disadvantage pushing closer to the bar. It's a leverage point. The farther out here, the easier it is to steer, the less effort it takes, so on and so forth. So what we are going to get down is this motion right here. When we decelerate, we reach for the front brake and we cover the front brake. So by the time we're at 0 throttle, we are touching the front brake, and when we accelerate, we come off the front brake. This will set you up to be a better rider than the vast majority on the road. If you can get this motion down right here, you are leaps and bounds ahead of many. And hopefully coupling this with a better understanding of the front brake, you're really going to feel confident and be doing something and be more capable than a lot of people are, because they fall into that my teacher is always right mindset and never question it, never look further into it, and then they go and scream at you in comments because you touched your front brake and didn't immediately stop, and that's that's not allowed. So here are the 2 exercises. Very simple. You're not going to need cones. You're not even going to need no markers, no nothing. All it's going to be, there's going to be 2 parts to the first one. It's very simple. You're going to get up, you're going to get going, and you are going to, from throttle, and this doesn't have to, you can do this as slowly and consciously as you need. This is the thing with parking lot practice, is the being slow, meticulous, and conscious with it, I think, is better than trying to force yourself to accidentally or do something, in a sense, right? Where, you know, you're hoping to make it second nature by just hammered it in, versus just take it slow. Really think about what you're doing. This is, you know, the first little step to using your front brake more correctly. So all you're going to do is you're going to get up, you're going to get going, you're going to come to a stop, and you're going to progressively pull on the front brake. This is not emergency braking. This is not emergency braking. You're going to progressively pull on the front brake, but you're going to do it slowly. You are not going to go and try and stop as quick as possible. You're going to continue to pull on that front brake. The suspension will dive forward. That is okay. This isn't going to, it shouldn't be enough to really jar you in any way. You should be pulling in progressively enough that it just continues to slow. That is it. So, I'm going to one day remember I'm in first gear when I'm sitting here. We're going to go out. So you go straight. Now remember, meticulous, right? Take as much time, think about this as much as you can. Really put some brain power into it. So let me get into a better position on this bike. There we go. So all right, now we are reaching for the front brake, pulling in and slowing down. Okay, dives the front. That's okay. I'm coming to a clean little stop. All right, so front fingers are off. Coming to a stop. Pull it in, 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 and then we stop. Go over here into the gravel. Reach for the front. Pull it in, pull it in, pull it in. Continue to pull harder. Continue to pull harder. Come to a stop. Let me make it around the gravel. One more time. So now I'm holding the throttle like I would be on the road, right? I'm going to consciously pull in the clutch, cut the throttle, and reach forward for that front brake and continue to pull it more. The suspension's going to dive a little. That's okay. This is where the second part of this comes from. This is part 1.5 here. You're going to do the same thing, but instead of pulling, you're going to do your best to get to where you pull, and then when the bike is starting to slow down, you're going to let out just a little bit. If you've ridden in cars for a long time and you're someone who is learned to brake smoothly in a car, this is going to be a very familiar sensation. But you're going to progressively pull, and then you're going to progressively let out just a hair. You're going to try your absolute best to cause no disruption in the front suspension. You're not going to touch your rear brake. We are only practicing with our front brake. So same thing here. We're going to pull. See, that one was a little smoother. It's gonna be uncomfortable with the way the bike is gonna fall because you're not touching your rear at all. But pull. Hopefully that will look a little smoother. Pull. And then to get better with this, and this is very, very small movements on my front brake. But to get better with this, go faster and faster. So the faster you brake, the faster this will kind of affect your front suspension. So if we're going faster, pull, 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 pull. And look at how my suspension just barely dove on that one. Much smoother looking than if I was going 20. Right, just for a little example here, get to 20 again, and we pull, 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 pull. Look at how much that front suspension bounces backwards. That's all we're doing here. And this may seem stupid simple, and you know, anyone can do this. You would be amazed, absolutely amazed, at how many people are unable to use their front brake with just that small amount of force. And this is especially common, let me get that out of the glare, especially common with people who are brand new and they have this kind of drilled in their head that their front brake is only for stopping hard. They're not allowed to, the second they touch their front brake, they must immediately continue to pull it in all the way until that bike is at a stop. This is not the case. Your bike, the brake itself ranges from 0 to 100%. It's not a button, right? If it was a button, it would be a button. It has percentages to which you can apply it. And the reason for that is because all of those percentages are useful. Now, on to the second exercise. We're going to the exact same thing, except instead of coming to a stop, we're going to progressively pull in the brake, and then we're going to take off again. Now, what this will really, this is what I think is one of the best exercises for any beginner on any bike, because it's going to help you with your clutch control. It's going to help you better understand how your suspension feels when it's going back and forth. It's going to help you with your throttle control. But most importantly, this is going to ingrain in you this motion right here. So, again, do it consciously if you need to. Don't think that it's a bad thing to have to think about something when you're doing it for the first time. Quite the opposite. The more you think about it, the better, if you ask me, in a situation like this. But you're going to throttle, and then you're going to slow. And then you're going to get to about 5, 6, however slow you're comfortable with coming to, and then taking off again. So, the newer you are, you're probably going to want to stick maybe around 7 to 8 miles per hour. If you're feeling you're a little more confident with your slow speed, get down to 5, 4 miles per hour. And this also depends on the bike. This bike below about 8 miles per hour, I don't even think it knows its speed. It just kind of throws a number on there and it tells you. Just a little dartboard it throws, but this is to get this motion down and to make you feel confident and happy and good with getting that down. And what this will do as well is, instead of having you think that every time you touch your front brake you have to come to a stop, this will switch your brain's way of thinking into, I can use this to slow down. And what it will also cause you to do when you have to take off from it is, inadvertently, you're going to trail off that brake a little, just like I did to make that suspension not dive as much. So let me show you. This is one of the best beginner exercises you can do on a bike, as far as I'm concerned anyway. So, okay. We're going, and we're stopping. Slow down, and go again. And slow down, 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 and go again. Let me turn around. I wish I had a bigger parking lot. And slow down, and take off. And slow down, and take off. Actually, over here there is some mold on the ground, which I I discovered earlier, that has 0 traction. It may as well be ice. So, all right, here we go again. Reach, slow down, go. Slow down, so go. All of this to do, these 2 exercises are really just to get more comfortable with that front brake, because I can assure you, the quicker you learn that your front brake is not an on and off switch, the better you are going to feel on the bike, the better you're going to navigate traffic. That's another big benefit here. is when you are covering that front brake, you are less likely, I've covered this before, but you are less likely to cause the very dreadful elbow out, pinky on the brake, shoulder up, and just where you just absolutely yank this thing. You are trying to avoid that at all costs. So, one more time, this is not emergency braking. Not emergency braking. This is to help you better fine-tune your front braking, to find and understand that there's smaller percentages of front brake that are extremely effective, and to make you better prepare you for when this motion will become extremely useful later down the line. I hope this will help someone. I know that the front brake is extremely scary when you're new. I know that it grabs a lot harder than your rear brake, and I know it is kind of glossed over as something other than emergency use or hard use in a lot of schools and a lot of videos. So hopefully this is very simple exercise to get going. I know that second one, the taking off, is when you're new, that can be stressful to say the least, but work there. That's not one that you're going to get down your first day down confidently and looking smooth. And another thing, little final note here, is this is not because I've learned this, and thank you all for the views and everything in the comments. I'm baffled at how much positive everything I've gotten so far. It's gotten to a point where I'm having to force myself to check my phone because it's kind of nerve-wracking to see that many comments and read them all and so on and so forth. But one thing I've learned is that a lot of people will, if you don't explicitly say something, they will kind of extrapolate something out of it that's not there. So this is not a replacement for slow speed rear brake clutch practice. This is front brake practice. Front brake and throttle practice. Two very completely different things. And something to note on that as well is that when you're doing your slow speed parking lot stuff, your MotoJitsu he's the channel as far as I'm concerned for slow speed type of stuff. Your throttle hand is typically, even if you watch his stuff, if you watch anyone who's really good at that kind of thing, it's pretty damn steady. That is your clutch, is your power regulator. Your rear brake is your control regulator. And it's kind of it's a completely different skill set than learning your front brake and your throttle in tandem like this. And it is very useful for confidence, and it is extremely important to make you feel good on your bike, that's worth everything. But it will not get that, you'll never get rid of that fear and that jumpiness around your front brake unless you go explicitly practice using it in small, slow manners. It's boring. It's going to be a lot more frustrating than you think it is. I know for a lot of people that I've helped with this, shockingly frustrating because they feel like they're always diving their suspension and it's causing them to fall one way or the other. So really be careful. The newer you are, smooth, soft inputs. 2 fingers is what I think is ideal. 3 fingers if you are on the smaller side. And make sure your levers are set up properly as well. I've gone over that. That is something that will make this so much easier to get down. So, in summary, front brake, good. Love that thing. You're going to want to use that thing. That front brake has a skill ceiling that changes the difference between Joe and Rossi. This will get you a little closer to Rossi than it will from Joe. You don't want to be Joe. You have to learn progressive, clean, slow, but forceful movements on that front brake. This will hopefully help you get to where you can come on and off that brake and not fear your throttle and not fear your brake. So hopefully that helps someone. Thank you again for all of the comments that I've gotten on everything so far. That's actually, you have no idea how hard that is for me to comprehend. So thank you.